In another village, there was a woman who worked very hard. From early morning, when the mo lang bird started singing, she saw her leave the village and go to the fields. She worked diligently until the North Star sparkled in the sky before returning to the village. One day, while working in the fields, she suddenly felt dizzy and uncomfortable. Her throat was as dry as fire. She quickly found a hut in the middle of the field, picked up the water pipe to drink, but saw that there was no water left in the pipe. Thirst tormented her more and more. She looked around to find water to drink, and suddenly saw a stream of water dripping from a ravine in the distance. She was so happy that she quickly ran over. It is a mountain that resembles the shape of a large man, holding an antler, and looking at the sky. From the top of the human figure and number 39's head, drops of clear, cool water flowed. She tilted her head back and took 3 sips, but her thirst was immediately quenched. Her throat still had the sweet aroma of the strange water. From that day on, she felt different in her body and her belly was getting bigger and bigger. She was pregnant. But it and number 39's been 9 months and 10 days and she still hasn't and #39 given birth. 1 year, then 2 years, the birthday still hasn't and #39 come. It wasn't and #39 until the 3rd year, on a day when the moon and sun met, solar eclipse, radiating soft yellow light, that the mother went into labor. She gave birth to 3 plump, handsome and identical sons. As the days passed, the 3 children gradually grew up. Since then, the mountains and forests have had 3 more healthy boys. Their arms are as strong as iron and can break large trees like blades of grass. Their legs ran as fast as the wind, crossing a forest in 1 step. Their eyes are bright, seeing farther than an eagle and number 39's eyes. Seeing that her children had grown up, one day the mother told them, "Our heaven and earth are still very wide. You should go your separate ways to do business. From time to time, please come back to visit your mother." The 3 boys obeyed, said goodbye to their mother and set off. The youngest brother followed the rising sun. The road gets lower and lower each day and soon the vast plain and the vast ocean and waves appear. The youngest brother liked this beautiful land very much and chose it as his residence. From then on, bathing in the clear blue water at night and lying on the soft sand at night, his skin gradually changed, becoming as white as powder. People called him Nok. The second brother followed the sunset. The land under his feet gradually rose higher and higher, dense forests appeared and majestic mountains rose up as if to welcome him. Encountering a stream with sparkling copper-colored water, he took off his shirt and waded to the other side. That strange stream of water caused the second brother, when he stepped up from the stream, to completely change his skin color, becoming as dark as the water. Seeing the fertile land, he stopped and set up camp to do business. From then on, people called him Leo. The eldest brother stayed in his homeland. He built the tallest communal house in the sky, with a curved roof reaching to the clouds, and the pillars were built as close as forest trees. He lived there, looking after the mountains and forests, for the streams to play the guitar, for the flowers to dance, for the animals and the wind to sing. But suddenly one day, a snake appeared from nowhere, its body as big as the whole a mountain range. It has wings to soar into the sky and fins to dive deep into the water. But the most dangerous are the 3 wish gems of the heavenly family that the snake spirit stole and hid in a round bag, worn under its right armpit. The first pearl was blue. When held out, a storm immediately arose. The wind roared madly, blowing away the entire forest one by one. The second pearl was pale white. When you held it, waves of water immediately surged, washing away dozens of villages. The third pearl was bright red. When thrown up, fiery smoke rose up, burning everything. The snake used these 3 wish gems to destroy all the regions it passed through. One day, the snake came to the hometown of the 3 boys. Wherever it went, the forest trees swayed, the wind howled, and smoke and clouds flew there. The eldest brother saw something strange and quickly came out of the communal house, holding a shield studded with bronze rattles in one hand and a sharp knife as sharp as water in the other. Seeing the bravery of the eldest brother, Exatin also intended to wait. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the blue pearl. Immediately, a thunderstorm arose, trees were uprooted, and mountain rocks flew. Seeing the snake spirit suddenly acting majestic and evil, wreaking havoc on his hometown village, the eldest brother got angry and rushed in front of it, swinging his shield. The shield rotated rapidly, creating a strong wind, pushing away the serpent and number 39's storm. After half a day of intense fighting, the exhausted snake had to immediately take back the green pearl. It angrily roared loudly and lifted the pale white pearl out. Immediately a whole tank of water rushed forward, covering the mountains and forests. Boars, weasels, and snakes float on the water. Faced with the terrible power of the flood, the eldest brother saw no way to resist. He rushed up to the highest mountain, picked up dry trees, gathered withered leaves, piled them into a large pile, and lit a fire. The day before, when they said goodbye to their journey, the 3 brothers made a promise that whenever there was an enemy or danger, the eldest brother would use a fire on a high mountain to signal to the younger brothers to return home. One fire was the signal. Calling the youngest brother, with 2 lights, he called the second brother. Seeing a fire in his mother and number 39's hometown burning, Nock at first thought it was sunlight, but didn't and #39's pay attention. But the fire burned brighter and louder, the flame swayed as if beckoning. Knowing that his eldest brother and number 39's fire was calling him, Nock ran all the way back to his hometown. Arriving at the old village, seeing the desolate mountains and forests, Nock was extremely angry, sitting by the stream day and night thinking of ways to eliminate them. Snake spirit. One morning, Nock said goodbye to his eldest brother and went straight to the monster and number 39's lair. Seeing the white boy, the snake spirit growled and shouted, "Oh, White Rabbit! You brought the skin here for me to peel, right?" Mr. Nock bravely shouted at him, "I came to find you to ask for your crime. The water spirit in my hometown, I can still cure your stinky buffalo foot water puddle." The snake spirit is very angry. He immediately pulled out the pale white pearl. Immediately, thousands of waves appeared, and the whole water appeared white in an area. Quick as lightning, Nock flexed his arms and stomped his feet on the ground. Immediately, a long wall emerged from the ground. The layer of earth wall as solid as steel rises higher and higher, tightly surrounding the water tank and gradually closing. The ferocious stream of water tried to break through the wall to overflow but could not. The water is gradually drying up. The weak snake spirit quickly took back the white pearl and unfolded the bright red pearl. Immediately smoke rose into the sky, fires burned brightly, and green trees burned into charcoal. The spring water boiled and gurgled. The youngest brother could not handle that terrible fire, so he had to run back to the sea. Seeing the danger, the eldest brother went up to the high mountain, built 2 large bonfires, and called his second brother to save him. Seeing the signal of fire, Leo immediately aimed in the direction of the fire and ran like the wind, regardless of day or night. Arriving at his mother and number 39's hometown, he ran straight to Exetin Cave and met it sharpening its claws in front of the cave entrance. Without saying anything, Leo aimed at its face and launched a spear as powerful as thunder. Knowing that the brave warrior family had come again, Exetin immediately tried to test her skills. Stepping back to avoid the spear, it picked up a handful of leaves, chanted a spell, and threw it into the sky. Immediately a group of bumblebees appeared and rushed forward. Leo calmly took off the flower on his head and gently placed it on the ground. Immediately throughout a forest, colorful flowers spread out and were woven into a wonderfully beautiful carpet. The bees smelled the nectar and swooped down, clinging black. They crawl into flowers to suck nectar. Suddenly, the flower shuddered and closed its petals, trapping the ghostly bees inside. Seeing that its magic had been damaged, the snake spirit roared, picked up the bright red gem, and shouted loudly, "This gem is here. You will also have to run like the previous 2 brats." Seeing the fire rising high, burning fiercely, Leo immediately took off the magic water tube on his back and poured it onto the ground. Cool jets of water shot out and suddenly rose into giant streams of water that enveloped the fire. Soon, the fire of the snake spirit was extinguished by the springs of water. Having lost, the snake spirit roared even more madly. He collected the red gem and then swung the pale white gem out. Immediately the water waves rose wildly, the rain poured down like water flowing in a pipe. The water rose so quickly that the second brother could not stand it, so he had to follow the setting sun and run back to the mountain. The eldest brother saw that his brothers could not cure the snake spirit and was extremely worried. Seeing this, the villager was also very worried. They immediately joined forces, contributed to building a long ladder across the river, and told the eldest brother to climb up and ask heaven if there was any magic to help the villagers kill the snake spirit. The eldest brother immediately climbed the ladder to heaven. That morning, Troy woke up late. As soon as he opened his eyes, he saw his eldest brother kneeling in front of him, explaining the story clearly and asking heaven for help on how to defeat the snake spirit. Thinking for a moment, the sky nodded and said, "This snake spirit really has many magic powers. But your intelligence is not much worse than his. It and number 39's only because you Don and number 39's know how to join forces to fight that you can overcome this spell, but he uses another spell. Okay, now let and number 39's go back to the high mountain, light a fire and call you 2 back." Then all 3 brothers joined forces to try it out. "If you still lose, I will find another way." The eldest brother obeyed, returned to the high mountain to light a fire and called the 2 children again. The three brothers gathered together with the villagers, divided into three directions and headed straight to the snake and number 39's lair. While eating white buffalo liver and drinking black wine, they suddenly saw three brave men standing right in front of the cave entrance. The snake spirit immediately growled, "Look, 3 young rabbits have come to surrender their lives again. Just wait, after eating and drinking, I will ask you about your sins." The eldest brother replied, his voice as loud as the sound of a gong, "Monster, today you will have to pay for your sins. You have destroyed these mountains and forests, killed these villagers, now we will join forces to punish you." The snake spirit is very angry. It jumped out of the cave, holding out the green pearl. A thunderstorm arose. Quick as lightning, the eldest brother brandished his shield, holding it to the east, and the mountains to the east collapsed. Rises to the west, mountains fall to the west. The shield rotated, blowing the wind away, blowing away the serpent and number 39's storm. The snake star lost the first match, so she quickly turned over the white pearl. Floodwaters rushed in. The youngest brother immediately rushed into the middle of the water, raised his sword high and stomped hard on the ground. Immediately, layers of ramparts emerged, surrounding and trapping the water flow. Seeing that the miracle was damaged, the snake spirit hastily took out the red gem. Smoke and fire rolled in, burning into the sky. As quickly as lightning, the second brother immediately poured the magic water tube onto the ground. Small streams of water instantly turned into hundreds of thousands of cold water dragons, meandering and glistening, clinging to the fire tank. The fire gradually died down and then went out. Seeing that all 3 miracles had been lost, Snake Crystal frantically tried to escape to the pool. But Nock had his sword ready to block the way. The snake spirit quickly turned around and ran up the mountain in panic. But Leo had already propped up his spear and was waiting there. Unexpectedly, Exa-Tin tried to flee to the sky, but his eldest brother jumped forward, swinging a knife as sharp as running water towards it. The snake spirit screamed and struggled, shaking the whole forest and shaking the ground. Finally exhausted, it fell dead, turning into the jagged, cracked, convex, and barren Rock-Ron mountain range. From then on, the mountains and forests of the Central Highlands returned to the peaceful scene of the past. The fields are full of rice, the fields are full of potatoes, the rivers are full of fish, and the stream banks are blooming with yellow and red flowers. The 3 brave men parted ways again, one going east, one going west to do business. The eldest brother stayed in the forest and built a larger communal house than before to preserve his motherland. Every year, the youngest brother carries salt from the sea for the 2 brothers, and the second brother carries gongs and blankets for the eldest brother. As for the eldest brother, he shared precious wood, honey, wild meat, and fragrant sticky rice with the younger siblings. To this day, the Central Highlands people still say that the eldest brother has the talent to dance with a shield and blow the wind. That is a person from the Central Highlands. Nock, the youngest brother, lives near the river near the tank, so he is skilled in building dikes to prevent water. He is Vietnamese. As for the second brother Leo, who lives in the hot, windy country of Laos, often suffers from fires, so he has the talent to fight fires. He is a Laotian. 3 brothers were originally children of one mother. Bana ethnic folktale. a type of forest weapon of the Central Highlands people. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.